Welcome everybody to the Monday, December 30th, 2024, last select board meeting of Conway for 2024. I'll call the meeting to order. On the agenda, we're gonna go down to new business. Actually, I'm sorry, we'll go to unfinished business. We're gonna get an update from our police chief about the police department, including the detail rate policy. Don, thank you for coming, sir.
You're welcome.
Keep your germs at home.
I'm trying. We did take delivery of our new cruiser, so it is in use. It's not 100% up and running because the radio's not programmed yet. I'm missing like the highway department radio, which I need to get one. And there was one other thing I can't recall. But it's all stuff that I have to do once I get the cruiser here. So it's nice.
Not bad.
I've got a bunch of spare parts. Question for you guys about it. It came, so when they put the cage in the back, they took the door panels off because it gets new door panels put in. Should I save those in case we go to sell it, to save it for OEM parts?
Yes.
Okay.
Do we have a place to store that kind of thing?
Yeah, the highway garage.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, eventually I could probably put it up in our storage of the
Yeah.
new station.
Or the highway garage.
So, I mean, there are not a lot of parts and pieces. The door panels are big, the center console.
You can put it downstairs with the 400 lockers.
Yes. I mean, I can find a place for it, that's fine.
I mean, if you can sell it too, sell it and then use that money for other stuff for it.
Well, they sell the door panels now.
Well, but then if we ever sell it, we won't have the door panels.
Yes, but I've also never, I mean, I've sold, not me personally, but in lately, we've sold a lot of cruisers. And it's basically, by the time we get rid of them, they're junk. And it's
People are just buying the parts
municipal
anyway.
and
Oh, okay, I
you
see.
buy them as is.
Yeah,
Matter of fact, we don't even strip a lot of the lights out of them anymore.
wow,
Take them with a cage, just go.
Yeah, I would try some now. I mean, that's up
Yeah.
to you, but
okay, good with that.
So, all right, that was just a thought.
yeah.
But that's really about it. That's new in the department. Everything's going well. So,
After all that activity on Reed's Bridge Road, what the heck?
well, it's like I want to keep calling.
Here, hi, Holly Michelson, how are you?
Hi, doing well.
Hi,
Hi.
we brought our kids for this momentous occasion, we hope that's okay.
We're here about the fence new way you proposed.
Yeah, grab some seats.
Yeah.
Sorry to intrude, is there a better time for us to come?
They told us to come at 6.
No,
No, we
you're
have
fine.
two things before, but they should go quick.
Do you want us to wait out there?
No,
No, you can come in.
How exciting, how exciting.
grab a chair.
We're really excited.
That's yours.
So it brings me to the detail policy. We've been at a set rate for years. We were able to convince Kenny to go with the MSP because that was like the standard at the time. They've been pretty low and everybody's been going up and everybody's been going up. Some people are jumping off of state police. I talked with Mike Hagel quite a bit about like what the state's planning on doing. And he was able to find out they're going up to like 70 or 72.50. They don't know yet. And he highly recommended to jump off of it to get away from state. He says because their detail policy is wonky and it's made for the state, like all the way from Boston to Pittsfield. So he goes, I would get off of it and don't follow state police anymore. So I reached out to a bunch of departments. One of them was Williamsburg. One of them was Granville. So kind of two different areas. I got their policies. Oh, and Shelburne. And I kind of combined bits and pieces of their policies to revamp our policy. So it went from 1 page to 3.
Okay.
So it's more spelled out. And as far as the rate, I'm coming to you like as a suggestion. Like if you guys had any thoughts, I came up with either like 68 or 70. I will say that, let's see, Deerfield's going to 70 in January 1st. Their chief reevaluates it every November and then sets a new rate. So that's what they've done.
What is our current rate?
Our current is 56.25,
Oh,
which is just
pretty low.
annoying.
Yeah.
Because once you get into overtime,
Yeah, that's what I was
you're
gonna ask.
dealing with pennies.
Is overtime by day? At
by
over
hour.
8?
Yeah, anything over 8.
Yeah.
So when state police did the 5625, it was $400, $450, something like that, for an 8-hour detail. But for them, they only allow them to do an 8-hour detail. Ours can go 9 hours, it can go 10 hours, it can go 12 hours. And you start getting into pennies, which
Okay,
is just,
is it like California law where over 8 is time and a half and over 12 is double?
no,
Okay, so what is
over
the
8
time
is
and a half?
time and a half.
No matter
You
what?
could do 24.
Okay, so at 70 it'd be 105?
You're
Pretty
good at
much.
math like that, yes.
Yeah. So, okay.
Yes. So we have the standard rate, which is all day. There's a minimum of 4 hours, and after the 4 hours and 10 minutes, it goes to an automatic 8 hours, but it's been that way for a long time. Overtime and Saturday, it's after 8 hour, or overtime is anything over 8 hours,
Mm,
8 hours and 10 minutes theoretically. Saturday is all day at a time and a half. And Sunday and holiday is double time.
I was about to ask that.
Yep.
Okay.
And there's an emergency, so like, if a car hits a telephone pole, and we need to get somebody out there ASAP, that's what they call an emergency details, it's emergency rate, and that's the overtime rate.
Mhm.
And I also want to add a cruiser usage of $20 an hour, which is cheaper than Granville, they charge $25 an hour. And they only use it if the chief deems it needed.
When does time stop and end? When they arrive on site or when they leave their, wherever they're located?
It would only be used in Conway.
Mhm.
They cannot use a detail outside or a cruiser unless I authorize it, which I'm not a big person to use a cruiser anyways. But it's also a way, like the Granville chief uses it, and he somehow works it out so that he uses it for cruiser maintenance. And that's how he pays for the maintenance of his cruiser.
So it's once they get in the vehicle?
Yeah, so if your detail starts at 8 AM, it'd be 8 to whenever they finish.
Oh, okay. It's
And
just that
it's
time.
built on, or billed out hourly.
Okay.
So who are we billing for the, I'm trying to understand.
I would think Eversource or
Yeah,
whoever.
Eversource,
Oh,
calls it.
all right,
Verizon,
okay, so that's
Warner
what- all
Brothers, I mean, whoever requests it.
Yeah.
Some companies will request a cruiser, like we've had it several times, and we're like, yeah, go pound sand, we only have one car, so you're not using it. Personally, I don't think a cruiser is needed in a lot of the details, but there are roads that, like if you're on 116 and we can get a cruiser out there, now that we have a spare one, to me, it's worth it.
Yeah.
Down in
because
those
it's-
curves, definitely.
Yeah, just even sit there and have some lights on.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, and I have a big write-up on like when you use the cruiser and why it should be needed, or why it's needed, that type of thing, that's part of the policy.
Okay.
So I just wasn't sure, I mean, all my paperwork that I've got here, I put it at 70. Greenfield right now is at 70. They're going up to 75 on July 1st, and then 80 the following July 1st.
I like the idea of evaluating it every year.
Yeah.
Okay, and I can definitely do that.
Yeah.
Like the sheriff's department, they're at 65. Berniston Leiden's at 65. Deerfield was at 62, and like I said, they're going up to 70. There's a bunch at 60. One's going up to 62 on July 1st, $2 every year after that. So it's one of these things that I don't want to have to go up every year.
Right,
I just want to, like, we've been at 5625, I think, since 2018.
it's a long time.
I think, I haven't been able to narrow that down,
Yeah,
but
it's fine. A
it's
long
supposed to have
time.
been a while.
Yeah.
And even that was low, like we went up to 5625, that was still low compared to other departments.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So that was my big push.
That sounds very reasonable to me.
Do we have to vote on this, or?
And I don't know
I don't
if you
think
do,
so. I
but,
think that's because it's internal to the
Yeah,
police department
yeah,
as far as.
but I have to
your-
get your approval because I'm a
Right.
lead chief.
yeah.
We'll have to ask Veronique, the expert, if there needs to be a vote on it, but
Makes sense to me.
yeah, I mean, we can't vote on it today because it's not on the agenda,
Right.
but I'm all for it.
I'm
That's
for
what's
it.
on the agenda.
Well,
No, the
not
vote,
the
it
vote
needs to say
itself.
It
vote.
didn't say vote on
Right.
it.
Yeah,
She just put down,
You don't need to come back if we have to
Yeah.
Yeah.
vote. We would just,
But I want to make this effective January 1st.
yeah,
Okay.
That was my goal, that's why I wanted to do it on the 15th. but
yeah.
Happy you got COVID and couldn't make that one.
personally, I feel like you as the head of the department, you can just make this decision, and if we have to vote later, then.
I feel the same way, but I just
I
wanna
agree.
keep it,
Yeah, it's not
Yeah.
like the highway department where it's a town employee, we're increasing rates, right?
it's not town salary, it's.
Exactly.
Yeah, this
Right.
is just.
So I don't think
Yeah.
it needs to be a vote, but we'll check with Veronique.
I don't think so.
I'm all for it. Anybody-
I'm all
I'm all for it.
There you
yeah.
go.
The other thing I just wanna throw out there too, and I know it's probably, it's not needed right now. In fact, I won't even bother at this point. Bring it up with Veronique.
Well, now we're just gonna be wondering all night
It's
long
just
now.
the pay rate for the part-time people.
Oh, okay.
I think eventually I'd like to see that go up a little bit, because we're, of course, with everything else on the low side of everything.
Gotta talk about it soon, especially if you want to
Well,
run a meeting.
but that's gonna be with Veronique, and that's part of the
for
budget.
budgeting and planning, yeah, that makes sense.
That'll
I
come up.
will bring that up.
Great,
All right,
thank you.
thanks, Donnie.
That's all I got.
Thanks, chief.
All right, thanks. I'm good.
Enjoy the new cruiser.
Oh, I plan on, holy cow, there's a lot.
I have some questions with this contract, so do you mind if we do this?
No.
Okay. All right, you're up.
Hey.
So, we're gonna go on to new business.
Yeah.
At the bottom of new business here is the discussion and vote to appoint Holly Michelson, and let me say this correctly,
Lori Pepperella.
Lori Paparello as fence viewers for Conway.
We're super excited, you guys advertised it. We
Yeah.
thought we were meant for this role. Our family is here to
I didn't,
support us.
I didn't even know it existed.
Well, neither did we until then, that's why we're super excited.
Well, and you're a horse person, so
Oh,
you
yeah,
know.
we're all about fences.
Yeah.
You know, like,
So this is for a term that ends on June 30th of this coming year, but of course, we would love to extend it after that.
We'll just have to
I
officially
understand it
reappoint
hasn't
you.
been filled in
Right.
90 years or something,
And
so.
Right.
90 years,
It's been a while.
We're up to the challenge.
now you all can hop on a fence easily.
Well, you know, so.
You're gonna bring video.
We were gonna bring video, actually, but we
Yeah.
decided we weren't ready for the PowerPoint.
So do you know the history of fence viewers?
They read it in the.
We did, and we acquainted ourselves with the regulations, and we feel up to the challenge
Great,
and are honored to hold the position.
awesome.
Awesome.
It'll
This
be,
is, I just want to say this is a great way to just get like an entry into.
We see what you're
government.
doing.
Yes.
They're like, our little parlay
And if
this
your
into
kids
bigger
live in
things.
town,
Yeah.
Well, and
They're all
animal
back, they're all
people,
back for the
so-
holidays, so
Oh, okay.
certainly, you know,
Yeah,
yes.
that's awesome.
so I have a neighbor whose acorns keep going in my yard.
We're here to help you discuss it with them. We're all about, you know, cooperative discussions.
That's awesome.
Are you in a creek?
Are there water rights involved? We learned about that.
We'll set up an appointment.
We understand we
and
charge
evaluate.
$5, and it can't be billed in less than dollar increments.
There you go. Well, we're so happy that you all volunteered, really appreciate it. Do you have any questions for anybody on the board?
Yeah, no, I think, I assume that this is a you'll call us.
Yeah.
Yes.
We don't call you.
Yes,
Kind of an
yes.
arrangement. That's great.
Unless you want to.
My phone is always.
Yeah.
Well, we have children, there's some what are the subparts of this, actually? There's a,
Well, there's a pound that I'm not so certain that the
When you
town
read
has
about this.
set up.
that we're not so sure, we're supposed to be responsible for maintaining the pound. We have children who might like to maintain the pound. There's a herder
There's a
of the
field
animals.
driver
We've
for
got children who
animals.
might like to be drivers of the animals.
Oh,
We're thinking we
okay.
could expand this into a whole
We're
thing.
excited.
And-
We have animals that need to be controlled.
See?
Yeah,
Anyway, we would be honored to take this position.
that's awesome.
And this is the gateway position.
Yeah, I keep saying that. Well, conveniently, Lori has just retired from her primary gig.
I'm on a sabbatical.
Oh, nice.
All right, I will
Perfect timing.
nominate this pair as fence viewers.
All right, Lori Paparello and Holly Michelson as fence viewers.
I will make a motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Awesome, welcome.
Thank you so much. Without you, thank you so much.
I would have brought champagne.
I know, well, that's what we're going home for.
Next time.
We couldn't have done it without
When we continue it next year.
By far the best appointment I've ever had.
Totally.
We want to see your outfits.
Yeah.
Tell them there's a bat signal that goes up in the sky.
Okay, so this is.
Thank you all.
just-
Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
The town politics at work. Get
It
it
was
going.
super exciting.
Good job.
Way to go.
All right, so this is just for me and Lori, so good to go.
That was not hard. I cannot believe how tall he is.
Yeah,
It's Fisher, right?
yeah.
Oh my God, he's gotta be like 6'5".
It's tall,
Oh, the one on
tall
the end.
kid,
Yeah.
tall kid. Great.
He's just a
That was
couple of years,
fun.
he's like Claire's age.
Yeah, I mean, he's younger than Mike, he's older than Isaiah.
Yeah. Yeah, older than Isaiah, younger than Claire, I think.
And now we move on to you.
Hello.
Louise.
We're back.
This is gonna be
We're
the,
just here about opioids, not that long. That's right.
also
You get all the
the,
fun.
new business. This is the discussion and vote on hiring and the contract with FERCog to provide Title V services in Conway. Welcome.
Thank you. Correct.
Take it away.
As you know, Carl has recently retired from Title V,
Mhm.
and one of the services, and Phoebe will talk more on this if needed, one of the services that we can have FERCog fill is the Title V work. And she can talk more about the specifics, but in contracting with FERCog and expanding that, the anticipation that we know is that we are not going to have a bigger rate increase in taking on that extra work, because they can get what they need by the way things are structured in the in the fees, so that it doesn't financially affect Conway at all, except that it perhaps will be less than what it currently is, which is always a blessing. And on the Board of Health, we feel that FERCog has been an important piece to the work that we do, and in partnering with us, I think will provide a nice, stable transition from our independent agent, which was Carl, to FERCog, that should we need, be able to have multiple agents available depending on the needs that we might have in town. And so
Makes
I'm
sense.
asking that you consider that as what we would like to. We have voted on it and have signed
Mhm.
the agreement on our end, and I'm sure Phoebe may have more
Happy
things
to
she'd like to
answer
add.
Questions, nice to see you all again. This is the memo I sent you, which I'm
Oh.
hoping you got.
Yes.
Email, but just in case, because I know how much email you get. And then the contract, you have various copies of.
Yes.
It looks like, so basically, as Kat said, this is the way our organization, our health district is structured, is that it is built out of, chapter 44A, the intermunicipal agreement. And so you already are in a virtually identical contract with us. And all you would be doing is adding the Title V and private well part that you weren't already participating in. Oh, yeah, sorry, it's one for each of you.
But this is not going to impact our FERCog dues? at this
Correct,
point.
actually,
Okay.
you were slated to go up 2.5%, you will now stay flat. And so you'll be at the same price you were in FY what is this, is FY 25, 23. So it didn't go up last year, and it won't go up for Conway this year. We need 6 months to figure out the impact on, but we definitely felt like there's no way it should go up if we're asking you to collect your revenue. But we don't need you to pay more, because the way it's structured, we're getting state funding to support having a competent public health workforce, and the deal is that for whatever inspection work we do, we gather the permit revenue, and that offsets the price for you.
That's a win-win.
And we know all your people already, the various haulers, designers, installers, and have been working with Lori on making sure there's an extremely smooth transition for anybody who is already got something before Carl. He already submitted something to the Board of Health. And then we do have regional permits that everybody that we would honor, those people will get, would obviously not have to be, would get their money back if they already paid.
So in the contract, the FERCog stated that they prefer to have not just a member, but an alternate for the town.
Yes.
Is that you two?
Oh, no, we have, I'm the FERCog.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Right?
Yes.
Sorry, Phoebe Walker,
Yes.
Director of Community
Yes,
Health.
oh, you're right here, right on this.
So no, Dan, Chef, is that his
Oh.
last name?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Dan
Dan's the
is,
alternate,
Okay.
yeah, so,
that's
so
for the
Kat's your,
oversight board.
Kat's your rep, and, so again, you
Actually,
as
Dan-
Conway have a
actually,
representative to the
Dan
Council of
is
Government.
technically the rep,
And
and
you're the
I'm,
alternate?
I'm the alternate,
Oh,
and the co-chair of the oversight board,
Right,
but I don't know if
right.
that affects
no,
the other.
so, let me back up.
Sure.
So the Council of Governments is governed by the 26 towns that create it, and
Yeah.
one of you is the rep. Is it you still,
That's me.
Erica? I think
Yes,
it's you.
it is
Yeah.
you, yeah.
So that board, that is our boss,
Mhm.
right? And then they have an executive committee which oversees Linda Dunleavy, who's the executive director, and I work directly for her and oversee all of our public health projects of
Mhm.
various kinds. And so the way the FERCog works, you only pay for what you're involved in.
Yeah.
So, Ashfield has a different health agent. They don't pay into the health agent part of the district. They just buy into the nursing. And you guys have, for now a number of years, participated in everything but the Title V and well stuff. You started out as a nursing town probably 20 years ago when we started making the district. So the way, what you can read in that, or I think you're talking about, Chris, is that there's an oversight board that is created to make sure that the towns that buy the health agent and nurses services have a direct say in what we do, that they pre-review any fees, that they pre-review any tobacco regs is something Conway's working on, right? So those are all things that come there first and get kind of, they can get knocked around and thought about, and then they come out to the individual towns to be passed. So we do have Dan
Good.
Great.
and Kat.
Well, I think this is a great service. I just always, with contracts, I always try to look closely
Yes,
at the
yes.
indemnification
Yeah,
and determination clauses.
yes,
And just one thing popped out on me,
yes.
was the last sentence of section 5 of the membership assessment. It says, the town acknowledges under section 12, termination, the town will be bound for 1 year of payments after termination notice is received.
Yep. And that was, so the way this district was built was in 2010, all the towns of Franklin County kind of got funding for a year to meet and talk about what would our ideal local, like regional health district look like. And out of that came this understanding that nobody can staff a department of, we've got 7 people, right? If you told us you wanted to leave, we need some warning, right? So we put that original group approved what looks like, I mean, it's very different than like, give me 90 days to get out of my Verizon contract, or whatever it is. Because we're talking about real people, and also we need to do this kind of transition. This itself, what we're doing right here, is a relatively rapid transition, and only really possible because we already work for you, we already have you in our permitting system, we already have the certifications needed, and because you're one of us, we will work like crazy to get your work done,
Right.
even though we don't technically,
Right.
we are fully busy right now. So we'll make room in our schedules, and we're figuring it out, we're bringing someone else on who will learn how to do it, but so that you can have the experts working with you. So that's why, you give us a year's notice.
Right, so with that reasoning, what happens when you're getting close to the end of the 3-year term of the contract?
You get an email saying, like these guys were
coming
all told a
close to-
year ago, next
extend it.
February,
Okay.
you're gonna be up again. So
Okay.
a year ago, the oversight board talked about what the contracts were gonna look like, and we
Right.
said, in a year, you're gonna be up again.
Right.
So if they wanted to, they get warned,
Right.
the Board of Health anyway, we would always sort of lead with whatever they're thinking. So they would, for instance, if we get to the end of the next 3 years, they could say, we don't really like how that's working out with FERCog, we'd like to hire our own health agent. And they, as long as they give us a year's notice, which is
Right.
usually around, that'd be February.
Yeah, that's when
Yeah.
that's when the new contract
The new-
was due anyway,
Right.
so
Okay,
that's one of the.
so it's due a year ahead of the termination of the existing, the new contract? or is it an automatic extension?
It's not an automatic extension,
Okay.
because you guys
We
can
have to-
only sign a 3-year
yeah.
contract
Got
without
it.
town meeting vote.
Right, got it.
So there's no automatic
Right.
rollover. We have to come back
Okay.
every 3 years.
Sure.
And we would give them at least fair warning. And I take your point. I mean, maybe
Yeah.
we should be sending something out a year
A year in
in advance to the
advance,
select
yeah.
board as well. We tend to assume that it's all coming from the Board of Health to
Right.
the select board, but I don't know that we should necessarily assume that.
That might be a good idea.
Yeah.
Great,
Yeah.
good catch.
I'm ready to make a motion.
Sure, go ahead.
I move that we sign the contract with FERCog for Title V services in Conway, effective January 1st, 2025.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Wait,
Oh,
wait, can I amend that?
Oh.
You're signing actually a revised version of your full
our
contract
full
with us,
FERCog,
because I was
right.
gonna be coming to you in February anyway.
Right.
Yeah.
So you're signing one for, public health services, if
Okay.
you wanna amend it in some, because this includes all your nursing, your housing inspection, your
So
food
this
inspection.
is
Summer
comprehensive to
camps.
everything.
Yeah,
Yeah,
this
okay.
covers it.
Right.
So, I move that we sign the amended contract with FERCog for public health services, which also includes the Title V piece.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Unanimous.
Now, do you need?
Good to have that as an
sign
option.
No, if you already signed that, I'll sign it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you are, I say we do have an alternate and a rep, you're always welcome at any of our meetings. We do send all the meeting notices to Veronique. And, those meetings are online in the daylight savings and in person when it's light out.
Okay.
And every single thing we talk about is on our website and all the handouts and all that. So like at the last meeting, we had a very, I made the PowerPoint, so I thought it was interesting, conversation about what the money is that comes in to support the program from all these different grant sources, what staff are paid for by the town's money, what staff are leveraged by the grant money, what you're getting sort of for your bang for your buck. You're more than welcome at any time, and I'm always happy to be invited to any finance committee meeting or anything like that.
Awesome.
Great. I don't know if, do I have to make a copy of this?
No, you don't have to give me one. No. You give me both of them, Linda will sign both and I'll
Oh,
sign
okay,
back.
and
Yeah.
then you'll send it.
Mhm.
Okay,
Great.
good, good.
Well, thank you,
Terrific.
Kat. Thank you, Phoebe.
You're
very
Appreciate it.
welcome.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Hope y'all have a good.
Happy New Year.
Yeah, Happy New Year to
Yeah.
you too.
I hear there will be a fire alarm.
Oh, yes,
Oh.
every
That would
year.
be,
We don't,
that would be illegal, we do not do that.
Yeah, we don't.
Oh,
Just
yeah,
saying
that's
what
what I
my
meant.
son has plans
Every year,
for
never.
tomorrow night.
Great, well,
We
thank you
wouldn't know
again.
anything about that.
No.
Nada.
All right, moving on to the top of the agenda, minutes. Vote to approve the minutes of December 16th.
I move to approve the minutes of December 16th, those look fine to me.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. On to warrants, looked over the warrants, not much was different in there outside of the upfitting for the new cruiser, which Don was mentioning. So I'll go ahead and make a motion to vote to approve accounts payable warrant in the amount of $101,955.97. The payroll warrant in the amount of $143,761.29. And the payroll deduction warrant in the amount of $35,527.70.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, unanimous. I hope none of us had to attend any
I know.
meetings.
Nope.
Nope.
All right, great. We'll move on. No public comments. Nope. Already did unfinished business. Already did new business. Items not anticipated 40 hours in advance. None. No TA updates today, right? None for you. Any comments or concerns from the select board?
Nope.
None. No mail. No announcements. Next meeting's January 13th. Thank you, everybody. Vote to adjourn.
Whoa.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.